us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us. And remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Hello. Man, I really wish I could have finished the last 3 seconds of that song. Let's do it.
I'm gonna try again. I done told you once, you son of a bitch, I'm the best there's ever been.
That's it. We can't play anymore. Can't play anymore. My video will get cut. They get cut. I'll get canceled. I get canceled into cancel culture. Hey, listen, Deont. No, he got canceled. Sorry. He has been canceled. Oh. I was watching a clip. I think it was the middle. Something, I don't know. One of the kids had to go to he was looking at summer school, and that reminded me of the time I had to go to summer school myself. Sorry, I'm in a Charlie Daniels sound right now because I just got done with that song. I'm sure I just sing through the whole thing here. All right. I had to go to summer school for English. I don't know why for English. Actually, I think it was math. No, it was English. Why? I don't know. I'm actually better at English than math. I just probably didn't care. But the bus stop was about 1.5 miles away. My parents didn't once take me to the bus stop. I had to walk there. I wasn't allowed to take my bike. I had to walk there. How dangerous. We finally convinced the bus driver, at least on the way back, to drop us off in our neighborhood. So that was kind of her. We got her to do that. But yeah, kind of remembered how little effort was put into helping me with that. Can I really blame them, though? I mean, isn't that kind of part of the, can't do that nowadays. That'd probably be child abuse. Child abuse, you're canceled. You're canceled. You're canceled. It's like Oprah around here. Everybody's canceled. But really, this is the way. So, I'm wearing a Mandalorian shirt for anybody that doesn't have video. All right. I've really been doing this at weird times. I need to get back to my regular schedule. I don't know why I've been sleeping so late. Probably because I've been staying up a little bit later. I don't know. I got to start getting up a little bit earlier, though. My cat said, "Meow." Yes, I hear you. I know. You're not the one that knocked everything over this morning. I know. You're not in trouble. You're too fat to get up there, kitty cat. I know it wasn't you. It's hard to figure out which cat broke all your shit while you were sleeping when you got 4 of them. You got 4 cats. Got some more good news yesterday. I booked another comedian halfway faint. I think my stuff is the Kind of Famous Comedian podcast. I've been playing around with the podcast father or the pod father. Podfather just sounds better than the podcast father. The recovery pod father. There we go. The recovery pod father. Because if I just say the pod father, nobody's even going to know what I'm talking on. Or does it matter? Okay, I don't know. I don't know that it does. So, why did that make a sticky sound when I picked it up? Okay. picked up my phone and it sounded like a sticky sound. All right. What's that sticky sound? All right. So we're going to go to Bustle today for our jokes because it was at the top. Oh. All right. We can use some of these. I think a lot of these might be repeats though. Man, I don't usually blank out. Been a while since I blanked out. That means nobody's here. All right. Doesn't matter. We're gonna move forward. Somebody will show up eventually. As long as I continue talking, eventually someone will show up. There we go. In the meantime, I'm just gonna have to entertain you myself. Why did the man fall down the well? He couldn't see that well. He could. Where do you take someone who's been in a peekaboo accident? The ICU. That'd be a great place to go. All right. Did you hear about the explosion of the cheese factory? Yeah, there was nothing left but debris. Yeah. It is a well-known fact that only the cheese brie will survive a nuclear holocaust. Brie and cockroaches. I'm making that up. I figured if it survived that. How does NASA organize a party? They plan it. Yeah, they plan the whole thing out. They plan it all right. Did you hear the joke about paper? And never mind, it's terrible. All right. One more. What's orange and sounds like parrot? A carrot. Polly want a carrot. Polly want a carrot. All right. Freedom from guilt. It is today's daily reflection. Right. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I am your host. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Yeah. I get a few people that say hi. Couple of people that, yeah, I got one person that listens to me a lot, that comments a lot, but isn't here. So Tina, thanks for the listening. I'll give you a shout out to one of my guests that usually can't make it here, but I get a lot of comments from. Who else do I get a lot of comments from that usually isn't? Jimmy, Matt, thank you all. I was just on Matt's podcast. The name has left my brain. I'm sorry. I know it too. It'll come to me. All right. And of course, check out Take 12 Radio with Monty Man, myself, and Roger. That comes out on Mondays. If you like my stuff, please share it. Hit that share button. Hit that like button. I'm trying to do this like everybody else. It's not going to work the way that I think it is. Actually, I have no idea how it's going to work out. Yeah. So here we are. Let's get to the reading. We're going to end up in the 12 by 12 page 47, but we're going to do the reflection first. All right. Freedom from guilt. Where other people were concerned, we had to drop. Where other people were concerned, we had to drop the word blame from our speech and thought. Yes. Can't keep pointing the finger. Nope. We've got to take responsibility for our own stuff. We'll get to that, right? All right. That's why I changed the title, because here it's freedom from guilt. I have freedom from guilt, not from responsibility. Yeah. Thank you, ChatGPT, for helping me come up with it, because it knows me. And that's exactly what I would talk about. That we are free of guilt, but we are that doesn't mean we don't take responsibility for our actions, right? So let's see what this person had to say. When I become willing to accept my own powerlessness, I began to realize that blaming myself for all my trouble in my life can be an ego trip back into hopelessness. I don't know that that would be an ego trip into hopelessness. And that's not how that pattern works. But yeah, but they're correct. They are correct. All right. It's not all your fault either. Okay. You weren't born, you weren't asked, you didn't ask to be an alcoholic. You didn't sign a note or sign off on something. Okay. This is a mental illness that I believe that we're born with. Yeah. I do. I believe we're born with it. Oh, doesn't mean I'm right, but what I can say is I was born with it. That I do know. Might be different for you, right? Anyway, asking for help and listening deeply to the messages inherent to the steps and traditions of the program make it possible to change those attitudes which delay my recovery. And what are the attitudes that we're talking about here? Okay, I'm live and you're blowing up my phone. You know better. Stop. Jesus. The cat's in my ear. Meow, meow, meow. Sorry I yelled in front of everyone. I'm not. I didn't even really yell. That was a firm. Cats are kind of on my shit list at the moment. They're lucky they even got to go into the sunroom today. It's just that I didn't know who broke the bowl. If I'd known that, then they'd be isolated and in trouble. Don't sit here and tell me cats don't have memory. Oh, they do. Amber says, oh, wait, you're live. I'll just come here and talk to you. Yes. I even said that right before you got here. I'm like, you're blowing up your phone. I'm live. Just come on. Amber and the cat pissed you off. I got over my grumpiness. I got over it. You didn't piss me off, Amber. It was a little distracting. Anyway, right? So before joining AA, I had such a desire for approval from people in powerful positions that I was willing to sacrifice myself and others to gain a foothold in the world. Right? I invariably came to grief. Yeah. I need a cat camera. Yeah, I need one of those too. So I invariably came to grief. In the program, I find true friends who love, understand, and care to help me learn the truth about myself. With the help of the 12 steps, I am able to build a better life, free of guilt and the need for self-justification. All right. So what are the three words we're working with here? Guilt, blame, and shame. Those are the words that we're kind of talking about here. Page 47 in the 12 by 12 for anybody that would like to read along. Do you like to read along? We're going to be in step 4 here, right? So, what we're going to do is we're going to start at the bottom of page 46, where it says first off. That's where we're going to go. So, we might utilize some ChatGPT on this one too. All right, get that going, get that set up. That's not the right one. See, it mixes up. See, what I have to do is in order to get the thumbnail. Here, I'll just show this to you guys. This is kind of what I do. All right. So I go to Chat GPT. All right. And on this one, I said, help me rephrase this topic free from, it was supposed to say freedom. So it gave me those. I took freedom from guilt, not responsibility. Then it writes the description from me. Now it does all of this based off of what I've done is I put a shit ton of transcripts in here for my videos, right? Then I ask for an outline. And you guys hear, this is the outline that I work with, right? And what it does, it just gives me, I have these quick little things that I can say, but these quotes are kind of based off of what I say and how I say things. All right, because I'm a little bit rougher. Then it's supposed to do the thumbnail. It is not supposed to give me this. And I said, we go through this every time now. How can I explain this? I do not want anything. Do not want anything to do with making the thumbnail. I just want you to do it. No options, just make it. All right. So then it made it. Then what I have to do is I have to do that and make it small so I can move it to my, so when I go back, sometimes it's all the way up there now. There we go. I know you care. I know you care. I think people left on that one. They're like, why are you showing us this? This sucks. This is not fun to watch. That is a little bit of what I do just to get this going. That's just this. That doesn't include restreaming, posting, letting people know, coming up with the actual topic. That's why some days I get up, I'm like, I don't care what's in the reflection. That's what we're doing today. All right. Page 46. First off, they can be told that the majority of AA members have suffered severely from self-justification during their drinking days. Okay. So, what is self-justification? Let's dig into that part a little bit. Self-justification. I didn't ask you to read it out loud for me. I'm perfectly capable of doing that. Thank you, Google. Is the psychological process of rationalizing behaviors, beliefs, or mistakes to protect self-esteem and reduce cognitive dissonance, often leading to excuses rather than accountability. So that's the difference. Self-justification gives us the excuses, because for us, there is no valid reason to drink. There are no valid reasons. There are only excuses. And that is true of anybody that drinks alcohol. Doesn't matter who you are in that case. For us, though, we take this to an extreme. You like her voice, though? All right. I always redo it if you want to hear. You know, are you saying my voice sucks? See, it's funny. We could do that here, and we're having fun because that's how alcoholics think. That's why it's funny. It's right. I'll let you listen to my new manly Alexa at some point. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks. All right. For most of us, self-justification was a maker of excuses. Excuses, of course, for drinking and for all kinds of crazy and damaging conduct. We had made the invention of an alibi a fine art. We had to drink because times were hard or times were good. We had to drink. We had to drink because at home we were smothered with love or got none at all. We had to drink because at work we were a great success or dismal failures. We had to drink because our nation had won a war or lost a peace. And so it went ad infinitum. Ad infinitum means forever. Forever. Is that what I said? Just because I like her voice doesn't mean yours sucks. I was just trying to have fun. That's it. I'm out of here. Nobody loves me anymore. All right. So it goes on to say we thought conditions drove us to drink. if you had my life, well, you'd drink too. If you had this, you'd drink too. If you and ad infinitum. Uh, I remember once I went to I was going to a concert, Dishwalla. In fact, I just reposted the picture yesterday, day before, where I'm standing there. Some guy's reading something. He's the new lead singer of Dishwalla. Well, not new. He's been there with him for like 10 years. But even with that, I got permission from my kids to drink. Are you okay? You know, it's just tonight. And of course, the kids were okay with it because it meant they could get away with their stuff. See, I knew that too. Night did not turn out well. I had a lot of fun, but I always end up picking some kind of fight. Always. Yeah. And when we tried to correct these conditions and found that we couldn't to our entire satisfaction, our drinking went out of hand and we became alcoholics. It never occurred to us that we needed to change ourselves to meet these conditions, whatever they are. Yeah, I had to change. I did. I needed to change my conduct was not good. It was horrible, man. I was ruining the lives of everybody around me. Now, I do everything that I can to improve the lives of the people around me. I try. Yeah. But I had to change. I had to get rid of blame and shame and guilt. Blame is outward, shame is inward. And both need to be gone. Having a little bit of guilt, I found, is okay. But blaming and shaming get me nowhere. Nowhere. And guilt leads to those things. All right. But in AA, we slowly learned that something had to be done about our vengeful resentment, self pity, and unwarranted pride. We had to see that every time we played the big shot, we turned people against us. Man, I tell you right now, it is so hard not to play the big shot. It's tough for me. Is it? Well, it was tough. It seems to come a little bit easier now. Right? Like, you know, whereas I appreciate people coming up with the topic. Dion's podcast was the topic at one point. The meeting. And it's just because people don't quite understand topics and stuff yet. So, and it's more funny than anything. Okay. But that's not a valid Well, I appreciate being the center of attention. I love all the accolades, but that's not the right space for that. What I absolutely enjoy about the grassroots meeting is that I'm just one other person. I don't want to be treated any differently. And when I do get treated differently, even when it's a compliment, it sets me apart. And I don't want to be away from the group. I want to be a part of the group too. Yeah. And more that's happening. People are taking things over, la di da. Right. So I don't need to play the big shot anymore. Because I am the big shot. Amber, that's pretty much what it was. Yeah, an outside issue is a topic. Because that would be considered an outside issue. And just so you know, not all issues are bad. Okay, alcoholics. Sometimes issues are good. All right. That's exactly what that is. That's what I would call it. Yeah. All right. We had to see that when we harbored grudges and planned revenge for such defeats, we were really beating ourselves with the club of anger we had intended to use on others. I would say revenge was the hardest out of all this to give up because I'm really good at revenge. I have this mind that comes up with ideas of how to screw your life without even you knowing it's me. And I sit back and revel in the fact that I just doubled down on your ass. And then you know what happens? My life goes to crap. There is a cat incessantly meowing, and I bet he's stuck in the closet. Give me a second. What are we meowing about? What's all the ruckus? Yeah. I was correct. I know my kitty cat's whines, and that's a help. I didn't mean to break the bowl, Dad. I'm sorry, meow. And here he is rubbing up against my leg. Amber said it also set the people that didn't see it apart from. Yes, I would agree with that also. Yeah. And because we need to be all inclusive. All right. So we learned that if we were seriously disturbed, our first need was to quiet that disturbance, regardless of who or what we thought caused it. Now, I'm going to tell you who caused it. You did. This is what I would call an allowance, when I am allowing other people to determine my emotions on things that aren't even directed at me. All right, because I'm kind of a sensitive person. Not on all days. I've worked really hard on that, on my self-esteem, my self-worth. All right. First of all, we had to admit that we had many of these defects. Oh, oops. Even though such disclosures were painful and humiliating. Okay. It's this, you spot it, you got it. You spot it, you got it. That's what they're talking about here. Okay. And it's okay. Especially at this stage. We're talking about the 4-step. Because you're literally searching for your character defects. This is a great way to utilize something negative and turn it into something positive for you. Okay. Look inward. And you don't need to blame yourself. You don't need to beat yourself up for it. This is the hard part for people in general. Okay. It's something I'm teaching my grandchildren right now. Guilt is not required for the change. I don't need to guilt trip them. Okay. Every time they get into trouble with me, this last time I said, you're not in trouble. What does Grandpa want? And they're both like, change. I'm like, there we are. Yes, I got you out of that scary closet. Now I know it was you that fucking did the bowl, dude. I know it was you now because you do not butt kiss this early. You don't. In fact, you hardly ever come on camera. All right. So, though such disclosures were painful and humiliating, where other people were concerned, we had to drop the word blame from our speech and thought. This required great willingness even to begin. All right. What's the prayer? God save me from being angry. Thy will, not mine, be done. And I wonder why I have holes all over my shirts. And I wonder why I got holes all over my shirts. You love you. All right. It does. It takes a lot of willingness to stop and be like, you know what? Maybe it's not everybody else in the world. Maybe it's me. And this is the process of acceptance, of accepting that it is going on. Wow. Right. He's at the point where he's going to start biting. See, here it comes. That's what happens when he bites. He gets smacked on the nose and he goes somewhere else. Actually, sometimes I allow it for a little bit, but that was a pretty hard bite. It hurt. All right. But once over the first 2 or 3 high hurdles, the course began to look easier, for we had started to get a perspective on ourselves, which is another way of saying we're gaining humility. So what do we do in these? It's humility. Okay. And what is the basics of humility? Asking for help. Okay, I see that person over there doing that. It is disturbing me. God, please Help me work on the okay, God, I see that character defect. It's yours now. That's the process. But if you want to disturb it with blame and shame and guilt and other negative emotions, it's going to take you a little bit longer. Okay. Now, like everything else, this is practice. You don't just wake up and you're doing it. No. If you want to get good at something, you have to practice it. All right. So, here's a big one. You don't need guilt to stay accountable. It's not a guilt thing. What do you mean, Dion? I got to tell people where I'm going when I leave the house. That's what normal people do. They do? Yes, they do. Quit. Here's, you know why? You want to know why accountability? Okay. It's the sneaking. It's all the sneaking. You think you're a sneaky person. Really, you're not. There's a trail of receipts behind you. Okay. People know. All right. Wait till you get sober and you have your first really happy day. Everybody is going to accuse you of being drunk. They're going to think you're drunk because you're acting the way that you do when you first start drinking. Yeah. It might happen. Right? So guilt and responsibility, they often get confused. One keeps us stuck and the other one moves us forward. Recovery isn't about punishment, it's about progress. Sorry. It's about growth, about being better. Right? So, what does guilt do? Well, guilt makes you live in the past. When I feel guilty is because of something that I have done. Take care of it. See, guilt is an indicator that something needs to change. Guilt is an indicator. You can't, it isn't necessarily freedom from guilt. I mean, you can't be, okay. If you do something wrong and you have no guilt, you have no soul. Your intuition will tell you. Your tummy will hurt. You'll get that feeling in your tummy. Still happens to this day. I'm 55. And when I do the wrong thing, you know what happens? My tummy hurts. Right? How else does it show up? Beating up ourselves after doing the right thing. Oh, I could have done that better. I could have. No, it came out exactly the way it was supposed to. Right? Example: last week I had I had Jeff Allen on the show. He's a bigger speaker. You know what I changed? Nothing. That was the decision, that I was going to treat him like every other guest because I treat every guest with respect. All the respect that I can give him. It is verging on butt kissing and appeasement. I will tell you that. Verging on it. Hey, we got to have those fun things in our lives. I didn't quite cross the line. I put like a little tippy toe across it, but I didn't quite cross it. That's enough for a touchdown, though, right? But it replays those old mistakes. And if you sit there and replay your old mistakes, you know what's going to happen? You're going to repeat them because your brain's going to be like, oh, this is the answer. Okay. The more you think about a problem, the bigger it gets. Take care of the problem. If you can't take care of it right then and there, then you ask God to remove it until you're in a position to do that. Okay. And then there's something else, action. If you don't put action into that, and what is the action? Go help somebody else out. I have found that 90% of my answers show up when I am helping somebody else. All right. Amber says, you didn't thank me for doing it for free. I was going to say something mean, but I'm not going to. I'm sorry. Amber, thank you so much for coming on and doing that for free. I appreciated that. Thank you. Maybe we don't feel deserving of joy and peace yet. It might be a self-esteem thing where you don't feel like you deserve it. When I first got here, I didn't feel like I deserved happiness. I didn't. I had to convince myself that I was worth having happiness. That took me a little while. Actually, it took me a long while. I feeling under thinking shame equals humility now. Now, shame and humility are completely different. Okay. Humility is not thinking of less of yourself, it's thinking about yourself less. Right. Some of us stayed sober but never stopped sentencing ourselves. Yeah. We go on and we might be nice, we show great, but I'm going to tell you now, if you treat yourself horribly, what's going to happen is other people will start to do the same thing. They will treat you the same way that you are treating you. And your flyer. Fine, Amber, let's just redo your show so we can do it according to your specifications. Actually, this is my answer to that. From the time yours happened and mine happened, I made progress and I got better at being a so. So we'll call it progress. And folks, she's just messing with me. We do this with each other all day. So no worry. And it makes it kind of fun, right? So you don't need to live in it. So guilt might wake us up, but it cannot help you walk forward. It can't. And in fact, if anything, it's going to hold you back from moving forward. Okay. So think of guilt as a tool to understanding to being a better person. It's a tool. Blame and shame, no, there's no good use for that. Okay. In fact, guilt isn't even the right thing as much as it is regret. See, I hold just enough regret to keep me motivated, not to overdo it. I still feel a little bit of regret for being a horrible father, for being a horrible husband. But I do not let that overwhelm me. I become a better person. Right? So, why do we hold on to guilt? Because, well, it's partially a survival skill. I will forgive, but I do not forget. And I do. I will forgive, but I'm not going to forget because I'm not going to let you get to do it again. First time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. See, there's that shame and blame again. How easy it is to find it, right? It's like karma will take care of them. God will take care of them. And see, that's just blame. And no, God ain't going to take care of it. Not in the way you think. There are consequences to everything. So let God take care of that part, right? I thought I let go. I thought if I let go of guilt, I'd let go of integrity. Yeah, I don't think I agree with that one, ChatGPT. I don't see my integrity with my guilt. Now, integrity is doing the right thing without anybody looking. So maybe it kind of fit, right? So, am I living responsible or am I just feeling guilty? You need to ask yourself, is this helping me grow or is it keeping me small? And a closing question. Where might guilt be disguising itself as responsibility? Hmm. Right? That okay. And what they're saying is this: in the beginning, you're going to do service work, you're going to do other things because you feel like you owe. You're going to feel that way. And if you don't feel that way, again, you have no heart. Okay. If you don't, AA saved your life, you better feel like you owe. Okay. I see a lot of people not giving back to what was so freely given to them. I see it. Okay. If you want the benefits of the program, then you're going to need to. Okay. So just because you feel like you owe doesn't mean that you need to feel guilty. That is a responsibility. Yeah. Bestowed upon you. God said, go help my children, you hopeless, helpless, chronic drunk. Because you can when no one else can. Right? So I'm free from guilt. What I'm not free from is responsibility. And I have to be responsible for three things: my actions, my emotions, and my triggers. It's that third one, especially, that really helped me out. Right? And what was that? Not allowing other people to determine my emotions. I brought it up at the very beginning. When a door, it's like slamming doors. It just, it's bam, it's automatic for me. I have to take a second, Dion. It's all right. Yeah. So now it happens less and less and less. Not the slamming. My grandson's 7. There's going to be a lot of noise. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And remember, no one trudges